These are going to be some ways to increase sales if you're working in that type of environment. This is based upon me working in a gym when I was younger, in my very first year of college and my second year of college, and working at the Art of Shaving as well. The first thing is you have to gather the goals of the client. Figure out what the client wants. Whatever they want, that's what you need to do. That's the goal that they have. You have to understand that. If you understand it, it's much easier to sell, okay? And if you understand it and you acknowledge it and you give affirmation toward them by doing that, then what will happen is they will trust you. If you gain their confidence, it's a lot easier to sell to somebody. If you do not gain their confidence, you can try to sell them whatever you want. They're not going to believe you. And they're just going to walk away. You have to gain the confidence of the client. And you also have to be willing to accept that not everything's going to happen where you're going to have a 100% close rate. But at the end of the day, you definitely want to gain their confidence by listening to the goals that they give you. And that leads to number 3. Know your inventory. Take what you know about whatever it is you're selling, know it, understand it. What does it do? What are the benefits? This, that, and the other of everything that you can possibly know. Because when that person is giving you the goals and you're talking to them, you're affirming to them all these kind of things and you're giving that conversation, you understand what is in the inventory in your head for, okay, they need this. This is what they're looking for. So this is what I should attach it to in our inventory in order for it to supply a goal for them to meet. It's a lot easier to do it that way. If you don't know your inventory and you're just listening and going on and on and on and they're talking, chances are they're going to walk out the door. But if you can give them something that can solve whatever issue they may have, it's a lot easier, especially, like I said, if you know their inventory of what you have that matches the goal that they want to achieve. And by having their confidence, it's way easier to sell that way. And number 4, don't over-explain. Explain what it does, explain how it meets their goal, and stop. There's no reason for you to go more than that. Just explain what it does, explain how it will, whatever it is you're trying to sell will help them reach their goal, whatever it may be. That is a lot easier than just going on and on and on, because eventually you'll bore someone to death and you have nothing. And that's not a good thing, because you're trying to make sales, you're trying to do a quota, this, that, and the other. It's extremely helpful not to do too much information and scare them away, especially if they don't know anything about what you're trying to sell. Number 5, after all these 4 steps are done, number 5 is the most important, because as anyone in sales knows, you have a sales quota. Sure, you want to get the big fish. You make the sale, okay? But at the end of the sale, goes back to knowing your inventory. For example, if I'm selling a gym membership and they're talking about this, I want to lose weight, I want to do training, this, that, and the other, know your trainers. Know, like, this one knows how to do strength and conditioning. This one's really good at this. This one only works with women. You have to understand that. And then when you're selling it to them, you sell them that membership. This is from my own experience. You know who you're talking to as far as, okay, I know their goals, so here I am. I'm going to try to sell them personal training or classes based upon the goals that they gave me. That's knowing the inventory. So not only am I going to get the base, which is the big fish, you start wanting little add-ons, because add-ons help over time to reach the quota that you have to make, or you'll get fired. And I'll give another example. When I worked at Art of Shaving, if someone came in with razor bumps or just razor bumps, for example. Okay, what do you use for an aftershave? Oh, I use a splash. Well, that's not very nourishing to your skin, and it could actually irritate your skin by having alcohol in it. Why don't you try this? And you could put it on their hand as far as the aftershave, and oh, it's nice. It feels really nice. Okay, yeah, that's really good for your skin. And then you gotta go from there. You kind of build what it is, the goal of what it is that they want. You start off with something small, go bigger package, and when you're toward the end of it, you have the entire package there. That's when you start saying, well, You know, how many times do you cut yourself, for example, like when you're shaving? Oh, you know, well, we have an alum block or an alum pin over here. Or you just happen to talk to them and, oh, you have a tattoo? We have tattoo balm over here. You know, if it gets dry or whatever, irritated, you get new tattoos. It's a really good product for you. It'll work really good. Another thing is that I would do is, for example, art of shaving is they would come in, we'd have several clients, and we had a barber there that would do shaves, and we would offer them the shaving service, book them right there on the spot, or give them a business card. Most of the time, if you give someone your business card, they will never ever see you again. Just remember that. Try to close when you can. 5 things, in my opinion, that you need to do when you sell. Number 1, gather goals of clients. Number 2, gain their confidence. Number 3, know your inventory that matches their goal. Number 4, don't over explain shit. Number 5, add on if possible. And number 6, the last benefit that I would say, accept that you will not close 100%, and there's nothing you can do about it. Do the best that you can, learn from the experience if you can, and you trust people that you work with, have them give you feedback when you're talking to people. That way you can be better and better and better over time. And sales is a numbers game, and you also have to admit that over time, more likely than not, if you're successful and you tend to decline, you will get fired. And you have to accept that. And don't be in a place for too long. Try to move if you can. Move up in rank or move lateral to a different area. I saw that a lot when I worked at Lock & Terra. They may be in one company one day, they move laterally, or they move up to a manager position in another company because the company they're in is not giving them that opportunity. That way it lessens your chances of being, well, fired, because it's a numbers game at the end of the day. And eventually, yeah, you can make the numbers and everything, but you want to do the best that you can. But these are my recommendation for increasing your sales.